Okay. I might be a little bit early. No, I'm right on the dot. Yay. So let me get this all set up. Yes. Okay. Got all of the contents that you need to recreate your own supplies. Got all my supplies in there. And that's it, you guys. Sorry I missed last night. I think it just needs to rain. I've got a horrible like migraine in my eye. Could be from the fire stuff. It was feel a little congested, like I've got allergy stuff going on. But we did go for a walk and then I was just done for afterwards. So I don't know what it is, you know, who knows, but I'm here tonight. I thank you for following along and joining me tonight. I've got a couple cards. Any of you that belong to the, or go look at the Green Thumb Stampers Creativity in Bloom page. Christy has been posting a few cards there using the So Refreshing bundle. That's our bundle or stamp set for the month of July. And she is putting it to good use already and posting her cards there. So thank you for that, Christy. Thanks for the great ideas. Tonight, I'm also using the So Refreshing bundle for a couple cards. I've got one, just a little added stuff to it. It's not too over the top. And then I've got one that's a little more over the top. But because my head was starting to hurt, I did really pre-plan to not make it take a long time because the one card's a little putsy. So I do have a lot of the stuff cut out ahead of time, but have no fear. I'm sure it's still going to take a while. So let's see. Christy's on, Mom's on, Dawn's on. Hey, ladies. Let's see, what do we got going on? We are winding down, only a couple more days for the paper sale. The paper I'm using tonight is retired, but you can use, you know, what one will be really pretty is that Countryside Garden or that Masterfully Made one that I used last week. Those would be great on one of my cards here, but any of them would work great. You just gotta use your imagination. So that ends on Friday. The sign up special ends on Friday, and I think that's about it. So I'm going to get started. Again, this is the bundle. So Refreshing is the bundle that was chosen for the July Stamp the Month. You have to also on Friday to sign up for that class, that bundle. You can get the stamps, the bundle, or just the projects, and join us on the 16th of July to make the creations that we come up with. Let me turn my camera down. Let's see. Oh Lord, is that what you're seeing already anyway? No, you're seeing me. Why? Please don't tell me I'm going to have trouble tonight. Okay, so let's pin. All right, now you should be looking down. I'm going to give it a second on my screen. I got my ink pad there to keep my phone from continually trying to focus. Let me show you the first card I'm going to make. This one I definitely didn't want to have to spend a lot of time on for you guys to watch me cut and do stuff. So this one is pretty much all pre-made. So again, I'm using the So Refreshing stamp set and coordinating dies for this. And I'm using some of the stamps, but we're using this picture right here. It's just a solid picture. It's kind of like last month's Lazy Days, where this one here, this picture here, will cut out if you stamp the picture, and this picture here just cuts out. And last month did that with the rocking chair. You could stamp the rocking chair and cut it out with like the outline, or you could have cut out the whole chair. So this is what you get. You get like a blanket. I'm gonna go with, I haven't used it as, I don't think that's a bottle of water. That must be a tag of some sort. Some glasses, some lemon slices, some leaves, some strawberries. Yeah, all kinds of fun stuff. Oh, this sprig that I'm using, that'll cut out, so you guys will get it. You see it. You don't need me to tell you what all's in there. So this card and my other card, you guys, I'm using the retired Rings of Love designer series paper that we had. I just was flipping through trying to find a softer color, and I found this here, this back side. Let me show you what's on the other side. It's Rings of Love. It had some fall stuff to it. Uh-oh, why is Dawn calling me? Can you not hear me? Can't see the desktop. Oh, sorry, hold on. YouTube, remove pin. Sorry guys, let me, hold on. Why can't you see the desktop? Oh, because I pinned it. I didn't spotlight it. Let me see. Maybe not. All right, maybe no. Sorry, I didn't look over at my screen. Did it come back? Is it pinned? Remove spotlight. It should be pinned, but why isn't it going over there? I had trouble getting signed up. Oh, maybe it just switched. Okay, sorry about that. I was struggling to get it to switch and get all set up. So, yep, you see it now. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks for alerting me, Dawn. So let me start over then. Sorry. Here's the card that we're going to do. And this, as I was just starting to say, is the Rings of Love designer series paper. It was in the fall. It coordinates with that Ringed with Nature stamp set. But I was looking for something soft that would go with the pink I wanted to use. And again, I'm using the So Refreshing bundle. Here's the stamp set and the dies. And like I said, you probably heard me. Well, I know you did hear me, but you might have been focused on trying to get my attention. It cuts out the whole picture, or you can stamp it and cut out the picture. So I'm using just the picture die in my cards tonight. And then, as I said, there's a blanket and some strawberries and the sprigs of flowers cut out and all that good stuff. So I think that's all you missed. You missed me. I think that's all you missed. Me rambling on about that. Kathy's on now too. Hi, Kathy. All right, girls. Sorry about that. So I'm going to get started. I told you guys I got a lot of it already done because the next card is more of my fun fold that I wanted you guys to see. So this card, this is using the whimsical die to make that the largest one, to make that stitched around there. And I got all that done. So I got an 8.5 by 5.5 paper in Petal Pink. Fold it in half or score it and then fold it at 4 1/4. And again, this is the Rings of Love paper. I just cut it down in 1/8 of an inch, so it's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I'm going to glue that on the front. And I did run that through that. Oh, Lord. I did run that through the embossing folder for the Stitch with Whimsy die to get the stitching around it. Sorry, gotta get another adhesive out. I'm gonna have to order some more of these because I think I'm almost out, and I'm just pulled it out of the track. Let's see if I can get it back in the track. This particular one, this isn't the regular snail. It's a different one that I found that I really liked, but the bad thing with it is this piece here always sticks in the wrapper, and so when I take it out, it pulls out of the track. So let's see. There we go. We got to start it again. So I'm going to glue this down. Front of our card. Like I said, it's just got a 1/8 inch border on it. So, all right. And then I cut a Parakeet Party oval and a basic white oval. And I'm just going to offset those and kind of glue them together. I just wanted to have a little bit more of the green on the front of the card to break up all the pink. And I'll glue that about, I'm going to bring it down a little bit because my flowers will go up and over the top of this. So if I bring it down a little bit, but not too far because I still need to put my greeting in there. All right. And then I did cut out a picture, and this is what the picture looks like. And it has a hole in there for us to slide our leaves on through. And then I'm going to show you guys, I made the flowers already, but I'm going to show you those flowers in action because they are quite the little stinkers. So here's the stem. And for this card, my flowers are Parakeet Party, Berry Burst, and then Petal Pink. So I've got my Parakeet Party for the stem. Put it down here just so. Perfect, right? Looks good. Well, now comes the stinker part. It's two-step stamping. So there's an outline stamp and the inside stamp. So I'm going to grab the outline and my Berry Burst, and I'll probably get a pencil to show you. So right here, you see these openings right here? Those are for these pieces. This long one here and this leaf here. So this piece and this piece go in those holes. I can't see with my light. So like that. But you also, can you see this has a rounded part here and this has a rounded part here? Those are for this and this leaf to go up against there to follow that contour. So now you could see the two leaves are following the curve. This leaf here is sticking out the hole, and then this guy here, he's going to rest right up against this. All right. And this is the best that I'm figuring out how to do this, and it doesn't lay down right every time either. This pointy one up at the top, it's gonna cover this one up. And then these other, like this leaf down here, they're coming in these openings. So I'm gonna try and line it up. All right, I gotta get that guy on there. This is gonna go through the contour. This guy and this guy are gonna go through the hole. And my light is shining badly on there. And I'm over to the right, so you could see that this leaf here is over. So you want to be that way more. Because, you know, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to say that. It doesn't really matter unless you're going to cut it out. Because the die has all of the leaves or the flowers. See, if I laid that down there and I got my stem in the die, then I went and put that piece, this flower thing here in the die, I'm way off. So you could see I'd cut that out, and down here, I'd have a bunch of white. I'd have a bunch of white through here because I got a lot of extra space. So let me just see if I can line this one up any better, just to give you a shot. We're going to come up to the top here. And it's not going to be any better because I'm trying to come in from the side. So I'm lining up that contour. I've got that leaf sticking out. That one goes. Let's see what we get. That one is doable. So if we were going to lay that down on there, everything lines up pretty close and it would cut out pretty decent. So if you're going to stick them in the pot like we are, it's not really going to matter as much if they don't line up perfectly, because you can trim it off or you can stick them in the pitcher differently. And then so now I'm going to pull in my inner piece in Petal Pink, and then that lines up really well. You could see through this really well to get your flowers all colored. And so that's just, like I said, I wanted to give you guys a little up close and personal look at how those flowers go on that stem, because it does matter. And like I said, when you go to put your die on there, it will really matter. And if you look closer at any of my things, you can see this guy's got a bunch of white on it down here. So what I ended up doing was I lined up my flowers better and knew that I was going to tuck the stem inside the pot. And so my flowers were more lined up. And so now we're just going to, I made 3 of them. And then we're just going to stick them in the vase, the pitcher. At different heights. Like that. And they do all go the same direction. So unless you got some reverse stamping skills, I'm just going to stick that down with my dimensionals to kind of hold them all in place. Sounds like Mike is home from golf already. I bet they sweat to death. It was pretty warm out there. And then I'm just gonna, oh, see, I didn't put that down far enough. Am I gonna be able to pull it off? Dawn, close your eyes. Put it down further because my vase, oh, let me stick my flowers on there. Get a feel for where I needed to stick them. It went up too high off the paper. So this guy, stick him down in there a little more maybe. Then I cut out a couple of the flowers or the leaves, and I'm just going to put some random glue on them. And I should have put them on first. I want him under this one anyway. Just to glue it in there. And then I've got another one that we're going to just glue off to the side of this. Like that, so it peeks out. Like that. And then I've got my Berry Burst ink. Let's see if I can squeeze these. And I found my Timeless Tulips, which is retired, but it had a Get Well Soon in it. So I grabbed that because I need some Get Well cards. I did find out, you guys, how to sign up for the farmers market, so I will be getting a hold of them. And hopefully I will start there next Friday. I don't know how long it takes them to approve you or not, so there we go. So I just put a little Get Well Soon on that. And for the inside, I just have a white piece of cardstock that I also ran through the Stitched with Whimsy die just to give that a little zing. And this, I will also say, part of the reason I went down just 1/8 of an inch is because if you go any smaller down to the 1/4 inch, it will cut off your part of your stitching. It's just a smidge too small. So I went on the 1/8 and I have a nice little border around the edge. So there's our first card. Like, oh, I forgot the little ribbon. I got everything in a little tiny pile over here. I just have some old crushed curry or bumblebee, maybe even baker's twine thread. Just gonna cut that, tie it into a little bow and cut it off. I'll use a little glue dot if I can find one in my drawer. Here they are. Stick it on there. You guys, I really need to buy the glue dots on a roll. They're 199% easier to use, but I just struggle with that thought of buying them when paper pumpkin kits give you these little dots. And I've got 1,000 sheets of them sitting around because of all the paper pumpkins that they come in. But the ones on the roll are so much easier. It's a toss-up. Do I buy more supplies when I've got the same supply? Just because it's easier to use. I keep saying, oh, I'll just try and use these up. I will never use up all the paper pumpkin dots in my lifetime. I can almost guarantee it. In fact, I probably can guarantee it. I guarantee it. I will guarantee it. So there we go, guys. That's our first one. It's quite easy, a little, you know, putsy with all the different die cutting things, but I love this paper. This is actually, I believe, I want to say the first time I've used any of this paper. I have a halvesy pack, so I know that I bought it for the paper share, and I've never used my half a pack that was left until today for these cards. So there's one. And, you know, like I say, it could be a sympathy, could be get well, could be birthday, whatever you need it for. But that's our first one. I hope you like that one. Thank you. Beautiful card. Great design. So now I'm going to go to a card that the lady said it was a brand new fold. I think we've seen it before. I don't know how old her video was. I don't think very old. Sorry for all the noise. I don't think her video was very old, but when I was looking online at Pinterest, I found her video, and she called it, what was she call it? A double pop-up something or another. But I know we've seen it before. Stands up like that. Susan Campfield, I think, is the lady who says that she created this design, but heck, I don't know. So this is what we're going to make. It folds up, and maybe she's saying she made the design because of the little gizmo down inside of there. Maybe she added that and whatnot, but this is Jill Blanchett's take on her little card there. So again, I got most of the steps done. Don't think you're going to be here all night. I tried to be conscious of your time, and I know you wouldn't be here watching if you didn't want, but I also don't want to overstay my welcome. So what we have to start with, I've got a few more steps of this one that I'll do with you guys. Again, I've got 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to fold it in half, a 5 1/4 or 4 1/4. So you could score that there at 4 1/4, and then we're going to fold it again. So you could score it again at 2 1/8, or you could just kind of fold it back, whichever is your preferred method for how you do stuff. So I just folded it at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4, and we're set. And this is also that Ringed with Love paper. Isn't that really cool? I love the colors. Unfortunately, this is mint macaron and it's retired, but I used it anyway. So there's the other side of this paper. It was so pretty. And so I'm going to use this plaid side. No, what you call it? Die cut embossing, or it's not embossing, Lord, die cutting, but it's not really cutting. So that last die, that Stitch with Whimsy, it's just making the stitch marks on there. So I did not do anything like that. I must have this paper just a smidge too long. Let's see. Nope, I just gotta get it on there. But again, I did just cut it on the 8th so that I didn't have a whole lot of my pink base showing. Oh. Last time, we're gonna stick this down wherever it lands. All right. So we're gonna glue that on. And again, I cut it on the 8th, so it's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Let's see, how do we want to work this? Let's work it all every which way. So now I have 2 pieces that are 1 7/8 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm going to use this bubble dots folder from the 3D, my 3D basics 3D embossing folders that are on the online exclusives page. And mark your calendars because July 6th, those will be updated. The online exclusives will be updated. We'll have all kinds of new stuff there. And I'm very interested to see, as I showed you guys pointed out in my newsletter, I think it was last week, that truck. There's a truck, like the old-fashioned trucks you see at Christmas time, and a punch for it. So I'm anxious to see what the stamp set and stuff is going to look like that goes with that. So I just ran that through. And now can you see all the little bumps on there? So we got our bumps on there. I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. I'm going to try this green glue. You want to really make sure to get some good glue on there because the ratio of, I don't want to get too much toward the edge, but the ratio of the paper that's actually going to touch down with the embossing on there really narrows that down. So you want to make sure you got some good glue to hold it all, because where all those humps are, they're divots on the back side, so they're not going to touch down. So you don't have any of that touching down on your paper to help hold it in place. So just make sure to get some good glue on the rest of it to help glue it in place. So I'm going to glue that down like that. Oh, you know what I did? Hang on one second. I want to use some of this tear and tape for another step. So now I've got a piece for the inside right here. We're ready to move on. And I did already stamp with Versamark, and then I white embossed it. I ran my little embossing buddy over it first, Versamarked it, and then used white embossing powder from the basics. And it's 3 1/8 by 4 3/4. And I'm going to tell you, I went 3 1/8 because I'm going to cut it off with these elegant border die. And that we're going to lose some of the width. So I didn't want it to get, if I went just as far out as I want the piece to stick out, say it was right there, well, then when I cut it off, it's going to be skinnier, and I didn't want to risk losing that showing. So I made it a little bit wider, and I am going to cut it this way, but you could probably also cut it that way if you wanted to, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna cut it this way, and we're gonna run it again. Could get my little machine out, but I got this one right here. And I just added this die cut onto this piece myself. So, you know, not required if you don't like this. It's not a necessary part of the mechanism or anything. We'll get to that next and show you guys how that works. Peel that off. Punch our little, looks like one of those little bugs that curls up outside. Little hard, crusty little bug. All right, so I'm going to set that aside for a second. We've got our mechanism piece that's 2 1/4 by 3 inches. And again, you can get out your scoring, cutting machine. Oh, geez, oh, Pete. Your trimmer and use your score blade, or you can just fold it like I'm going to. So if you fold it in half, and then fold each of those pieces inward in half. Just up to the score line, because she said you don't want them to overlap, which I understand. So just go up to your score line or your fold line there in the center. There you go. So you don't want these 2 pieces overlapping. All right. So now I'm going to take that tear tape and I'm going to put it on the back, as far back, as close to the score as you can get it. She says that that will help reinforce when it's opening and closing and stuff. This part up here doesn't really need to be strengthened. She said if you're going to, you know, do something a little heavier than 1 piece of cardstock, you can go ahead and like put 2 pieces on there. Cover this whole flap. So then we're going to open our card up. Our sticky is going to go down, and we're going to line our center score up with this fold line here. And to be safe, put it about in the center. This piece, I'm going to center top to bottom the best I can. So we want this to sort of be centered to hold it. So put this paper right on that score so that they line up, and then push them down. You can burnish them down. These dots are, you know, very sticky uppy, so make sure that you stick that tape down real good over those dots. And then when it closes, you'll have that little tube there, like that. So we just made that little mechanism like that. And then now we're going to glue this piece on here. And then when we close it, it'll close down like this. And this will close down with it. And so again, on the width, we don't want to go too wide because we don't want to come off the page either. And then this will move with it. So I'm going to put another piece of tape on there. You don't have to use tape on this one, but I'm going to use tape again. And I'm actually going to put 2 pieces on just for giggles. I don't need 2 pieces, but I want to just, and this is kind of wide, so 2 pieces of my normal tape would work, make more sense. Okay, then we're going to glue this on up at the edge. You don't want to go too close and like smash it really tight up there, or when it goes to close, it needs a little tiny bit of give to be able to close down. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to leave just a hair showing. I'm going to kind of eyeball that I'm about the right height on both top and bottom, and then I'm going to stick it down. That. So now that goes with our fold. Opens and closes. And then we're going to cover it with another piece of Petal Pink that I have layered. This is, I didn't write my dimensions on it. Let me tell you. 2.5 by 4.25, which makes this 2.25 by 4. All right, so I'm gonna glue those two together. And this is kind of like those circles. I'm not gonna do any stamping or anything, or those ovals from the last one. I'm not stamping on them or anything. I'm just gluing it on there. Oops, I did forget to do my, hold on, let me see if I can pop it off. No, it's not coming off very good, but that's all right. I just need part of it to come off. I want to use a little piece of my designer paper that I got left over, and I'm making that little tablecloth. So you'll want to do that before you glue the white on, if you want to put the little tablecloth on there. And so I just am going from the corner until I'm seeing the corner over here, and I'll glue it down, and then I'll trim it. I forgot about this guy. He was a add-on at the end of my sample card. And now let's put a little more adhesive on there. If you wreck it too bad, just, you know, you can start over. But that looks all right. I think it lays down there pretty well with the rip underneath. Get that silly sign out of my way. All right, and then I'm going to glue that on. And I'm going to glue it on before I put my base on there. And I'm going to use my green glue. Just because, again, I got those bumps on there. So I want to make sure I got some good coverage to hold it in place. And then I'm just going to eyeball that I want it kind of centered on there. And I want to make sure my words underneath are covered up. And then I'm going to glue it on real good. So we can come to the back and push down like this. Help glue it in place. Okay, so now there's our whole like card in the making. And then I cut out, did I tell you that was mint macaron? Yes, because it's retired. I cut out this vase in the Poppy Parade. And I pre-cut my flowers. Showed you all how to do those for the other cards, so I didn't figure I needed to do it all again. So I did them ahead of time. They are mint macaron ink, Poppy Parade, and then the Petal Pink. And I'm going to stick them in the vase. I'm just doing the exact same thing with these that I did with the last one. Like I say, I might have stuck that last one up too high. Let's see if I can pull that. Probably could use another one. Oh, look at here, my paper I grabbed out of the drawers. Reused paper that I made for something when I worked at the middle school. Oh, I don't want to take that off yet because I want to put, I got mint macaron leaves for this one. Just going to glue those in there. Should I stick them back there this time? No, I'm going to stick them in the front again. And then I got another set that I'm going to put behind. I'll put the glue on. Just kind of want to hide that one a little bit. Like that. Probably could use another one up here somewhere, but we got it like that. And then, and I also thought the pot would be cute to get a stencil and put some like polka dots on it, or I could have actually ran it through that bubble folder, put some, oh, where is it? Just like this, and like left the handle out. And the top up there doesn't really show that much, so you could finagle it in there like that and run that through the emboss machine. I bet that would be cute. Just all kinds of stuff you can do. Let me get this out. And I got, look at there, I got one left off my, don't need that much on there, but that's what I got handy on my scrap paper that I threw back in the drawer. And then I put that little piece down there, like I said, for a tablecloth. Center that up on there a little bit. And there we have it. Time spent together is the sweetest. You could put a happy birthday on that one, or just a thank you for hanging out with me. And again, I got a little bit of baker's twine, just plain white. And you could leave the strings longer, but I don't like the notch in my twine here that this spool leaves in there. Sure, there's a way to get that out, but look, I'm going to use one more of these dots. I'm going to start using them for everything. That's how I'm going to glue everything down, see if I can use up all these dots. Prove myself wrong that I can use them all up in my lifetime. Geez, you know how long a card would take to have to peel these dots off from every single thing? Granted, they come off easier if I use my pick tool, but then my fingernail. I still think I'd be there a long time picking all those papers off. Okay. I'm going to put that on the handle. I guess I'll put it over here. There we go. And I even thought some jewels would be maybe pretty around, poked up around on there. But that's it, guys. That's what I made you come back a second night for. And let me go back. Take my spotlight off. Should bring you back to me. Take the farm again. It would be a very, very bad, yeah, to have to pull all those dots off. That would not be a good thing. It would frustrate me. But that's it, guys. I don't know if it's back to me yet. Doesn't look like it. Looks like it's still on my desktop, but I'm going to go with the fact that it will eventually get back to me, so you could see my smiling face, my new haircut, although I don't even know what my hair looks like. I got it cut, I think, yesterday, And she went so short again that all I do is rub it when I get out of the shower, and then I don't go back and look at it again. So it could be, I was talking to Reed, oh, it was before I got my hair cut. And she's like, what's up with the Cruella de Vil hair? I'm like, what are you talking about? And I looked, and I had these bang things here had come down and made a curl. I looked like one of those little plastic headed dolls that used to have the curl in the front, but it was sticking up everywhere. And I had just kind of done one of these and missed the curl in the front, and oops. So that's it, you guys. It's going to be hot the next couple days, but by gosh, I hope it rains down here. It was looking mighty eerie out when I was upstairs a little while ago. Actually, I couldn't tell if it was the smoke from the fires or if it was going to rain. So I just stay inside if you can, stay cool, because it's going to be another hot one, but then it's going to rain. So that's it. Have a great evening. Thank you for joining me on the next day after when I was supposed to be here. I appreciate it. And post your cards if you make them. Love to see your creations. Bye, guys. Have a great evening.